What's up, guys? It's probably not for you to be here. I just woke up this morning to find out that my Doctor Who Dalek Invasion of Earth review part 1, which has been uploaded for more than a year, has now randomly decided to have been blocked off YouTube as it's been called for copyright now. So, yeah, what I'm just going to quickly do is I'm going to re-upload the video, and then in the few seconds that have been called for copyright, the video is just going to go black. But you'll still hear the audio, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. We all good here? Great.
What's with the color? What's with my voice? Oh, gotta fix this. Color first. That's better. Now my voice.
There, that's better. I don't know what happened there. Glitch. Anyway, time to move on to my Doctor Who review of the Dalek Invasion of Earth. Timeline of all my reviews so far. We started with An Unearthly Child, the very first episode of Doctor Who. I tried to review it as an okay pace, and when I looked over it, it was just under 15 minutes, which in my opinion was pretty good time. But unfortunately, my Daleks review, Edge of Destruction review, Marco Polo review, and Keys of Marinus reviews would be somewhere in between about 20 minutes to even more than half an hour. In fact, my Marco Polo review was so long that I had to divide it into 2 parts. So, for my Aztecs review, in the introduction, I apologize for the reviews being so long, and I would try to talk really fast like I'm doing right now to try to get the review over as soon as possible. My plan succeeded, as the Aztecs review only ended up being about 10 minutes long. However, that made me start to relax, as now I started to believe that all my reviews since then would be about that time, which of course brought me back to my normal state, and my Sense Rights review, Ring of Terror review, and Planet of Giants review were all about the same as always, about 20 minutes or even more than half an hour. My Planet of Giants review, which surprisingly is only 3 parts long, but because I started using clips from the actual story, it ended up being more than half an hour long, so I had to split that into 2 parts just like Marco Polo. So in this Dalek Invasion of Earth review, since it's 6 parts long, I'm going to try and talk really fast and try to time myself and, I don't know, just try to make it as quick as possible overall. So we start off as always in the TARDIS, and the Doctor claims that they have landed on Earth. Barbara and Ian get really excited for some reason, which I don't quite understand. I mean, like, yeah, A, this could mean that they're finally back at their own time, and B, even if it's not, it's nice to see their home planet again, but they've been on Earth several times before. In fact, this is actually the 3rd story in a row where they've landed on Earth. We've kind of been running on a pattern here. If you ignore the Edge of Destruction, then An Unearthly Child took place on Earth, the Daleks took place on an alien planet, Marco Polo took place on Earth, the Keys of Marinus took place on an alien planet, the Aztecs took place on Earth, the Sense Rights took place on a spaceship followed by an alien planet, and the Ring of Terror took place on Earth. So anyway, they step outside and find not only are they on Earth, but they're in England. That's 1 step closer to Ian and Barbara's own time. And then some stuff falls on the TARDIS to prevent them from getting in. And this causes them to get separated like they do in every single story. And I'm sorry, but I just want to point out this line here.
Your planet? You brought us a long way around, Doctor.
I never actually noticed that the 50th anniversary special was actually referencing to Ian saying that, or maybe it wasn't, maybe it was just a mere coincidence. So anyway, we find out that the year is 2164.
But you know, young man, I have a feeling, or call it an intuition if you like, I don't believe we're anywhere near your time, the 1960s. I hope it is only an intuition, Doctor. Yes, well, ask yourself. Here we are, standing by the Thames, and we've been here quite a while. How long? What, quarter of an hour, 20 minutes? Easily, but what about it? Well, what have you heard? Nothing. Precisely nothing. No sound of bird song, no voices, no sound of shipping. Not even the chimes of old Big Ben.
Well, duh.
I kind of get annoyed by that because of the whole, Big Ben got destroyed by a spaceship in the year 2006.
Oh, look, Susan hurt her foot.
The Doctor and I are going to have a look in that warehouse over there.
Well, can't we all go?
Well, how's your ankle, Susan?
I'll try.
Well, I remember when I was little, and I would always freak out when my foot got hurt, but she's 15, and she's a time where she's probably older. So then Barbara sees a sign that says that it is forbidden to dump bodies into the river. And then she sees a body in the river, and she cannot stand having someone break the law, so she runs back to Susan so that they can call the cops. The Doctor and Ian also discover a body inside a box. He also has a weird helmet thing on, which the Doctor believes is an extra ear to pick up high frequencies. Ian also discovers a whip in it, and when they accidentally turn over the body, they find that there's some sort of knife in it, meaning that he was murdered. And Barbara couldn't find Susan, but some random guy popped up and said that she was safe, and then ran off, and now Barbara's following him. I think that these knife shots were actually filmed outside. It looks too realistic to be filmed in studio. Look at that. Actual sunlight for once. Barbara and Susan are picked up by these guys who are supposed to help them or something, and they're so glad that Barbara can cook. Meanwhile, Ian and the Doctor completely ignore the flying saucer that they just saw, and focus more on these zombies wearing the helmets from before that are about to kill them with their whips that Ian found in the box. So they're thinking, hey, how about we turn towards the river and run into that? Because Ian just came up with a theory about plague and stuff like that, and bodies being thrown into the river with plagues. But anyway, as they're thinking of that, a Dalek comes out of the river, which could have been such a great twist if you didn't put Dalek in the title of the DVD. Seriously, why did you call it the Dalek Invasion of Earth? This is the first time that a monster that appeared on Doctor Who before appeared again. So it should have been a huge cliffhanger that no one should have seen coming, but no.
The Doctor and Ian appear frozen with shock, which I guess is probably the reaction that I'd be showing. But then, the Daleks talk, and then Ian says, Doctor, they're voiced, they're Daleks, and they're on Earth. Seriously, you didn't recognize what they looked like, but you recognized their voice. Anyway, so the Doctor tries to say, like, you better let us go and stuff like that, but the Doctors don't listen and take them anyway. So the guys who are with Barbara and Susan have created, like, a bomb or something, and then Ian's confused as to if the Daleks died in the episode The Daleks, how are they alive now? And the Doctor explains that the Daleks took place millions of years in the future, despite the fact that they had no proof that it was the future. This is the future too, but, like, the Daleks was, like, even more future. Yeah, timey-wimey. The birth of timey-wiminess. Oh yeah, something really funny happened, because one of the prisoners that the Daleks had tried to escape, and then we got to some of the funniest lines ever.
You're a fool! You can't help him now! Help me!
So the Doctor and Ian and another guy named Jack is put into a jail cell, where Jack claims that once you're put behind the bars, you're finished. So then, Jack starts to explain to Ian and the Doctor exactly how this whole Dalek Invasion of Earth thing worked, and one of the guys who are with Barbara and Susan were explaining it to Barbara and Susan, and apparently the Daleks came down and captured some human beings, and turned them into Robo-Men, and those are the guys with the helmet thing. They kind of like mind-controlled them or brainwashed them or something, and no one escapes, because then they just get destroyed, and, you know. Other people are apparently put into mining and stuff. So anyway, so the Daleks are sending radio signals, and the guys who are with Barbara and Susan hear that they have to come out of their hiding places or get killed. So then the guy with the bomb claims that they're gonna just throw the bomb at a Dalek and blow it up. All that they need is one victory to give their people... No, actually, you kind of need to destroy all the Daleks. If you just destroy one, then it's not really doing anything. But anyway, Barbara decides to have one of the guys disguise themselves as Robo-Men so that they can trick the Daleks into letting them get right in the middle of them so that they can throw the bomb. Meanwhile, the Daleks have shown interest in the Doctor's intelligence and decide to give him a test. And this test appears to just set up this sort of magnetism experiment. And the Doctor can't resist doing a magnetism experiment. And yeah. So there's a key in a box, I think. And then the Doctor's... the test is, I guess, to get the key out of the box to see if they're intelligent. So there's a magnifying glass in there, and then they do something with the sunlight, and then the Doctor starts firing out a whole bunch of three-dimensional geometry stuff. I'm sorry, I'm only in grade 8. I only do x-axis and y-axis stuff. I'm only on 2 dimensions right now. I do not understand the 3rd dimension. I cannot comprehend what 3 dimensions is like. So anyway, they do something, and then the key just fires out of the box for some reason. I honestly have no idea what they do. So the Jack guy, the Jack guy named Jack is being really annoying and doesn't really think of anything. So the doctor just says, hey, do you know what? We dealt with Daleks before, and we defeated them. And you are here behind bars giving up hope. Get out of here. And then the doctor and Ian do something that I think it has to do with science, and they open up the door.
The doctor starts to begin to be robotized, to become a roboman. Oh no. Oh my god. That music's so eerie, it's turning my ears. My eardrums are about to explode. Save me. So then Barbara and some other guy and Susan, wait a minute. They had a bunch of bombs? When did they get a bunch of bombs? So they throw it and they appear to do nothing, and then they take some more prisoners inside their spaceship and they get down. Oh, dang it, they forgot to make a sound effect here when this guy's being shot. So anyway, the fact that the doctor is being robotized is the cliffhanger for episode 2.
So then this guy comes out of nowhere and rescues him.
So meanwhile, during the war against the Daleks, where they're throwing the useless bombs at the Daleks, Ian and Barbara manage to get a glimpse of each other, but don't actually manage to get together because of the war that's going on. So Barbara ends up being taken with the men that she was with earlier, and Ian is forced to stay on the Dalek saucer, and Susan is lost with a man named David. And Ian finds a guy who I guess he knew from an earlier episode. I don't recognize him. And he fights him off because he's been robotized. And I'm not sure whether he did this on purpose or by accident or whatever, but he ends up electrocuting himself. And Ian makes a new friend. So they hear a Dalek coming, so then they start going into a vent in the floor. So yeah, people who are worried about 2164 and the Dalek invasion of Earth, don't worry, we're all probably going to be dead by the time it happens. Though I guess it's always a chance that human lifespans will get longer, but tell your kids to just stay on the Dalek saucer and wait for a man named Ian.
And Susan and David are apparently doing fine, they're just hiding from the nearby Daleks. And then we get to this pretty tragic scene where we hear someone get killed by a Dalek, and his last words are like, you killed my mother and my brother and stuff like that. So anyway, Susan suggests that out of nowhere, she just suggests how about David goes and comes on the TARDIS or something, even though she never recommended that to anyone else who is in danger in any other previous story. So why oh. Yeah, something happens at the end of this story, I think. Yeah, it's this one. So anyway, as she's trying to convince David to go into space and time with her, he says a line which I find pretty funny.
This is my planet. I just can't run off and see what it's like in Venus.
The man who rescues the doctor brings him to where Susan and David happen to be, because he knows David or something. So anyway, he wishes them luck and they wish him luck, and then he runs off and then he dies. And I don't really know what's happening in this scene. I don't know, maybe it has something to do with the bomb, but the point is that once again we have actual sunlight in this scene, proving that this was actually a shot outside. Or at least I think. Either that or that's some realistic sunlight right there.
Like where Barbara is, the man who's creating the bomb states that it has something to do with his metal case and the reasons why the previous one didn't work. So, the man states that he's looking forward to meeting the doctor because Barbara stated that he's a scientist, so, yay for science, and, yeah.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna use the last strength in his legs to destroy the Daleks. He is throwing he died. Is the bomb gonna do something? Please don't tell me that he died for nothing. Did he die for nothing? I think he died for nothing. We have a funny scene where a Dalek talks to a mannequin, and then this conversation happens.
Has the numbness, is it wearing off?
Yes, I think it is. Quite a while, I might be able to travel.
Oh, that's good. David says we should head to the north. His resistance group up there, and he says we should join up with them.
I don't care what that young man says. I make the decisions here, my dear. And I think we should make our way back to the TARDIS. What do you suggest, sir? Me? Well, you're the senior member of the party, sir. Well, I would be grateful for your help. Yes, well, yes, of course, young man, yes. Well, I suggest that as soon as I'm able to walk again, we should travel north.
Seriously?
Very good idea, Grandpa.
What?
I said it's a very good idea.
Yes, I think it's a very good idea.
Dalek saucer lands, and then Ian and his friend get out of the hiding place that they were in, and then go into another vent thing. And it turns out that neither of them has no idea what's on the other side, and they could be going straight into a wood chipper. So good job, guys, though I guess it's just better than just standing there and waiting for the Daleks to find them. 2 Robomen
I'm not sure if they knew that the guys were hiding there, or maybe they were instructed by the Daleks to put in there just in case if anyone was hiding there, but it turns out to be a bomb, and none of them are noticing the bomb, and that is the cliffhanger for part 3.